So, as most of you know, this month, September, is Suicide Awareness Month, and this is a huge deal to me because I have struggled with depression and anxiety and bipolar disorder and suicidal thoughts and tendencies for quite some time. I come to you to tell you that suicide is not the answer, and this is coming from someone who has had the same thoughts and urges as you. And I know that some people's urges and intentions are a lot worse than others. It just really varies on who it is and how bad their depression and their suicidal thoughts are. But just because you aren't as bad as somebody else, that doesn't make you any less important, and you still matter just as much as everyone else. About 1 million people commit suicide every year, and it's estimated that by 2030 depression will outnumber cancer and stroke and war and the death that it causes. And that's pretty sad, because mental illness is such a big deal. Depression is such a big deal, and it goes hand in hand with a lot of other mental illnesses. It's one of the mental illnesses that can pretty much go with anything, or it can be by itself. Many people just have depression, but many people don't just have depression. Many people have anxiety that goes with it, or OCD, or schizophrenia, or eating disorders. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can come with depression. And I know that depression isn't the only mental illness that can cause suicidal thoughts. There are a lot of other mental illnesses and situations that everybody is in that can bring on the suicidal tendencies. I just want you to know that I know how it feels. I know how it feels to want to not wake up in the morning, and that you lay in bed and you cry yourself to sleep and you get a couple hours of sleep, if that, and then you just think and you can't stop thinking, and all you think about is how it would be so much better if you just didn't wake up tomorrow, or if you just ended it right here and right now. I had those thoughts for years, and it doesn't get better. Actually, it continues to get worse. The thoughts do. If you don't get help, it actually gets a lot worse. And there's many things that you can do to prevent suicide with yourself or with other people. Talking to people is a big idea, or a big deal. Sorry, this is kind of hard for me to talk about. Talking to a professional can help, and it might make you feel like you're crazy at first, and you might feel really uncomfortable, and you don't really want to talk to anybody about anything, but I promise you that it helps so much, because you get so much out, and it's one person that actually understands you, and that a lot of the times they're not just getting paid. Like, when after your first couple of visits, they aren't just there to get paid, they're there to actually help you. I'm actually lucky to have kind of two therapists. It's like my therapist and then her helper, and I'm actually really close with both of them. They make house visits a lot, and well, they did in summer, and they encourage me, and they're like my best friends, and it's a lot more than just the therapist and client feel and the vibe and relationship. And so I'm lucky enough to have that and to have them, and I know that a lot of other people have the same relationship with their therapist, and that makes me so happy, because therapists, they don't get paid enough for what they do. They honestly don't, and some of them are so loving. One time I was at school and I didn't have my medicine, and so I was very anxious, and I went to school and I went to my teacher's classroom and I cried, and I told her that I was not having a good day and I just could not concentrate. I didn't get any sleep. My anxiety was crazy. So my one of my principals allowed me to stay in the office, in a room in the office, all day. And so that helped a lot because I was by myself the whole time, and so I didn't have to face everybody else. And my therapist came in and sat with me for about 2 or 3 hours and just talked to me. And that was amazing because they could have been seeing other students, but instead they decided to see me and talk to me and make sure I was okay because of the fact that I was having such a bad time. And I was just really, really grateful for that because I needed that more than anything. And so I really hope that if you do decide to get help, that you have someone who cares so much about you. Another thing that can help is medication. And I know that when you think about taking medicine, that you feel like you're crazy. Or you see someone who takes medication and you're like, really? Like, people judge each other for taking medicine, which I think is actually ridiculous because I've been taking medicine for almost 3 years. I'm actually going to show you what medicine I take. Here's this. I take Vistaril. Technically, each one's 25 milligrams, but I take 2 of them twice a day. And then I take Prozac, and it's 20 milligrams, and I take 1 of them once a day in the morning. And then I take Tylenol, and this is for my hand shaking, and you can't really tell, but my hands shake really bad, and that's for my medicine, but I need my medicine, so I just take that for it. If you know me in real life, you know how bad my hands shake. And then I take 2 of these. These are the dudes that help me the most. It's Seroquel, and supposedly it's a meth, but I don't do meth. And I take 800 milligrams. Each one of these is 400, and I take that at night. I actually started off on 200 milligrams, and I worked my way up because my anxiety, and it helps me sleep. My anxiety gets worse. And then I take a calcium supplement and a something for acid reflux. So I am a believer in medicine. I don't think that everybody needs it, and I don't think that everybody will always need it. Like, the people who take it, I don't think that. I feel like some people are actually going to be able to, like, wean themselves off of taking medication, but a lot of us need it because we are chemically imbalanced in our brains, and so supposedly that's why we have depression and the other mental disorders. So I just want you to know that if you ever feel like you're crazy for taking medication, you're not, because I take a lot of medication, and so I don't think I'm crazy. Sometimes I think I'm crazy, but I know how it feels. And I know it sucks taking medicine, but I know that it helps me and that I need it. I don't like having to take as much as I do, but it is what it is, you know? I feel like this video is kind of all over the place, but I'm just having difficulty, like, explaining myself and explaining everything. The bottom line is that it gets better. It really does get better, and I know it doesn't seem like it. I know that it seems like it will never get better, and that the sun is never going to come out and shine on you, and you're never going to feel like you can be happy again. And I know that suicide seems like the only answer, but it's not. It is not the only answer, okay? It affects so many people. So many people. I was actually affected by somebody's suicide that I never knew him. And I'm not going into details, but it affected me. And I can't do some things because of it. And suicide is a big deal, And I know it seems like that's your only option, but it's not. And it's gonna be okay. And it's not always gonna be this hard. I know it seems like it is, but it's not. And the thoughts are gonna stop. And the urges are gonna stop. And you're gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. It might take years. It might take you months. It might take medicine. It might take therapy. It might take medication. It might take all these things that can help you, but it's gonna get better. That's one thing I can promise you. Sorry. And I want you to know that I'm here for you. I'm here for every single one of you. You can DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is April_Watts, WATTS. Or if you have my number, you can text me. I just know what you're going through, and I know that it's hard. I know that sometimes you just need that one message that lets you know that it's gonna be okay. And I really hope that this is what this is for you. I hope that this is your way of knowing that everything's gonna be okay, and that you have to keep fighting, because that's all you have to do. You just have to keep fighting until it eventually gets better. And I know that doesn't sound like it's worth it, but I promise it is, because you're gonna get older and you're gonna find someone that you're gonna fall in love with, and you're gonna become who you are supposed to become, and you're gonna accomplish so many things in life, and you're gonna have children, or you're not gonna have children, and you're gonna travel the world if you want to, and you're gonna make something of yourself. And you have to keep holding on to that, because that part of you, that's the only part that's gonna keep everything seeming like it's worth it. Because I know that it gets to a point where you just don't feel like it's worth it anymore. Like, waking up tomorrow isn't worth it anymore, but it is. And I'm saying that to you as someone who thought that it never would get better. And I love you all. And I'm going to put the suicidal hotline numbers down below in the caption for every country. And I really hope that this helps you. Please subscribe, leave comments, show people support, because they need it. And I love every single one of you. Thank you for listening to me, and if this helped you, show other people, because they probably need it just as much as you do. Thank you so much, guys.